Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So, today is the breakdown video for Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr. that is taking place on Saturday, June 19th on Triller PPV. It's going to main event a Triller pay-per-view, and Teofimo's getting paid for this fight. He really is. Bob Arum got passed up in the purse bid by, actually he finished third. I think Eddie Hearn finished second with Matchroom, who put in a bid on the fight, but Triller came through with like $6 million. So they more than, I believe they more than doubled, or just almost exactly doubled what the, what's his name did, Eddie Hearn with Matchroom, and got this fight. So Teofimo's getting paid. He's getting a big payday for this fight. Kambosos too. And the Undisputed Lightweight Championship of the world is on the line. No matter what people are saying regarding Devin Haney, at the end of the day, I'm gonna, on my podcast, I'll cover this a little more. These governing bodies do what they want. They really do. The only thing I like about the WBC, they're completely corrupt. They're probably the most corrupt governing body in terms of making their own rules as they go. But the one thing I do like about the WBC, they're the ones that hold the green belt, is they are in the interest of pushing the right guys, the best guys, towards the world title. So if they break the mandatory rules to be able to do that, or go back after awarding a guy like Devin Haney the title when Vasily Lomachenko didn't want to fight him, if they do that, I'm like, okay, whatever, who cares, because the right guys are fighting for the title then. So when the WBC did that before Lomachenko and Lopez to make it an undisputed title fight, in reality it was the right thing to do, because Lomachenko really never lost the title, and he only gave it up because Devin Haney hadn't fought or beaten anybody. And look at who he fought. He fought a very deserving and undefeated champion, Teofimo Lopez, who was coming off of a monster win against Richard Comey, knocking him out. And it was for the world title. So it's not like Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney. He didn't. He went on to fight the better fighter and the more notable fighter and make a bigger fight with Lopez. So, this distinction about Lopez not being the real WBC champion, yes, he is. It's just the problem is the WBC has two WBC champions right now, and they have to figure that out. And hopefully, after Lopez and Kambosos, we get a mandatory fight between Lopez and Haney. That's what Lopez wants, and I hope that's what comes to happen. But before that, this fight needs to take place. Teofimo Lopez coming in the heavy favorite over the undefeated and mandatory number one contender George Kambosos Jr. of Australia. So we're gonna do the breakdown. So what that means is we're gonna start with the favorite, then we're gonna go. Or actually, I think I start with the. I start with the favorite and then move into the underdog, and I ask the questions. What kind of style do they need to fight in order to win? I asked the question, what are they going to do? Can they win by knockout? Can they win by decision? And then what does it do for them in boxing if they win? What does it do for them in boxing if they lose? So, and then at the end of it, I'll give my prediction on the fight. And I always do this, guys. I always do these breakdown videos. First off, I know a lot of people probably aren't excited for this fight, but they should be, because Teofimo Lopez is one of mine, but he should be one of the most must-see fighters in all of boxing. And guys, I've only done 2 videos that have went over 1,000 views. One of them was the Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders breakdown video that just happened. I did over 1,200 views on that. Excuse me, I'm very proud of that. And the first one was Lomachenko and Lopez, that breakdown from back in October. Lopez has a really, really big following, and he's very good for the sport. So I just want to throw that in there, that's why I'm doing a breakdown video. I do it on all the fighters who are must-see fighters in boxing, no matter who they fight. And the undisputed title is on the line. So whatever you guys think of George Kambosos, he has an opportunity and is fighting for the undisputed title. That makes it a big deal. So let's get into it now. Start breaking this fight down, and we're going to start from the side of the favorite, the undisputed, undefeated champion, Teofimo Lopez. So first off, what kind of style does Teofimo Lopez need to have heading into this fight? Well, my belief is he needs to come in just. I wouldn't rush into a bullfight with Kambosos just because, you know, what for? Lopez is so talented, he's so fast. I think he needs to go in there, get some rounds in, and set up the knockout. I think he can move forward. He definitely shouldn't move back, but move forward, because I think Kambosos is going to show him a ton of respect. So I think Lopez needs to move forward, come at Kambosos, but not with his chin out and exposed to where he can get caught, and just box his way in, set it up. He's got the speed, he's got the power advantage. He needs to set it up, be comfortable, and just slowly, not super slow, but just set it up and look for an opening, and then strike when that opening is possible. So if he does all that, I think Lopez, that's his best chance of winning this fight. Getting into a slugfest wouldn't make sense. That's what Kambosos wants. I think that would be a mistake, because it opens himself up to getting caught. So that would be a mistake. So can Lopez win by knockout? I absolutely think he can. Kambosos has never been beat, but he's also never been hit by somebody with the power of Teofimo Lopez. So absolutely Lopez can win this fight by knockout. I believe that is a big possibility. Can he win by decision? Yeah, I think he's the better boxer too. I mean, Kambosos, solid. You know, he lands some punches. He's kind of a scrappy guy. But in terms of the better skill, it is absolutely Lopez in the speed. He's the better boxer. And I think Lopez, if Kambosos shows a great chin and can take the shots, yeah, I mean, I think Lopez can win a decision in this one. Okay, what does it do for Lopez? What does it do for boxing if Lopez wins this fight? Well, for Lopez, it's not going to mean much in terms of his resume, but it's going to keep him as the undisputed champion at 135 and keep his name growing stronger. So that's good, because boxing needs Teofimo Lopez. He's undefeated, he's young, and he's one of those fighters that boxing absolutely needs right now to keep it growing, you know, and keep it going strong. What does it do for Lopez? What does it do for boxing if Lopez loses? Well, it's devastating to Lopez's career if he loses to a guy like Kambosos after beating a guy like Lomachenko. And, you know, it's going to totally derail him. You know, if he were to get caught, or if he loses a decision, yeah, he can come back and fight him in a rematch. But he's definitely going to be vulnerable to the rest of the guys in the sport. And everybody's going to be like, oh, this guy isn't so invincible. He isn't as good as we thought. So that would be bad for Lopez, obviously. Now, for boxing, it would be bad too, because boxing needs its young stars, and Lopez is at the top of a great division, a stacked division, but a stacked division with 4 young lions who are lobbying to try to make themselves superstars of the sport going forward. And Lopez is sitting right at the top of that. So a loss would be devastating to boxing, and, you know, to boxing and to Lopez. So yeah. Now let's jump into the underdog, George Kambosos Jr. What kind of style does he need to have in this fight to be successful, to have his best chance at winning? And the style that I think he needs to get it on the inside, like he did against Lee Selby, and mix it up and hope that Lopez will get into a dogfight with him and try to land a big money punch to hurt and put Lopez down. If he can take Lopez's shots and can get on the inside of Lopez and get that work in and make it a dogfight, he might be able to pull off the win. Now, can he win by knockout? I mean, we have not seen Lopez get caught by a big puncher or get caught and hurt badly is the right term. We have not seen that, excuse me. But you never know. I mean, we don't know yet. I don't think Lopez's chin has been adequately tested against big-time punchers. You know, obviously, Lomachenko hit him with some good shots those 4 rounds in a row that he won, 8-11, and Lopez kept coming. So, Lopez kept fighting. He stayed in the fight. So he can take shots and clean shots, but, if he gets caught, could he get knocked out? I mean, I guess the possibility's there. I'm going to lean towards the less likely because I don't think Kambosos is a big, huge power puncher. But you never know. You land the right punch, it could happen, I guess. Can Kambosos win a decision? I think it's going to be very hard. If he wins, I think he's going to want to win by a knockout, early, middle, later rounds because Lopez wears down. A decision with the skill of Lopez and how good he is, it's going to be hard for Kambosos to win a decision. But I guess I wouldn't completely rule it out if he gets on the inside and makes it a dogfight and can take the punches. So I guess that's possible. But I think it would be close. I don't think he would dominate Lopez unless Lopez just completely overlooks him, and which is possible, and comes in like out of shape or something and can't last the 12, but he can't go the full 12 by giving it his all. So Kambosos just completely overwhelms him. But I can't see that happening. What does it do for Kambosos? What does it do for boxing if Kambosos wins? For Kambosos, it's the biggest victory of his career. He becomes the undisputed champion at lightweight. It'd be huge for him. It'd be a signature win, and really set him up for life, basically. For boxing, I think it's bad for boxing. It's not that Kambosos isn't good for boxing. It's just Lopez is so much better for boxing. He's an undefeated, power-punching, and very skilled fighter who talks shit and sells a fight, and he's from the United States. Kambosos is from Australia. It's different, guys. The USA is where people want to go to fight. Why do you think guys from England and all over the world want to come to Vegas in the United States to fight? Because this is the biggest market in the world to sell fights and to make money. So, and to get you get your name known in the United States, you're a superstar all over the world. And that's why Lopez is so good for the sport. Kambosos isn't going to do that. Even with the win over Lopez, people are just going to look at Lopez like he was just overhyped, and Kambosos will get some respect, he'll get some love in the boxing world, but if it turns him into a superstar and he takes over the division, yeah, that's good for boxing, but it's not as good as what it would be for Lopez, especially Lopez's role right now in the sport, which is he's the king of the lightweight division and the king of the young generation pushing forward. So, he upset one of the pound-for-pound best and the previous lightweight king, former 2-time Olympic gold medalist, Vasily Lomachenko. So, yeah, it would be bad, not bad for boxing, but it wouldn't be great for boxing right now if Kambosos were to win this fight. Now, what does it do for Kambosos? What does it do for boxing if he loses? For Kambosos, if he loses, nobody's going to be surprised by that, but it depends on how he loses. If he goes out there and gets his ass whipped and gets laid out like most people expect him to, then, it's just going to be like, well, he was never on that level, so nobody should have expected that much, and whatever. He got in the ring with the best, and he's going to have to start from scratch, and, people aren't going to look at him like he's a threat. But if he goes in there and makes it a dogfight, goes the distance, or can put Lopez down in some kind of way, show that he is a real legitimate threat, then he'll continue to get big fights after this. He wouldn't have to have to completely start over from scratch like most expect that he will. Now for boxing, if he loses, it's not going to really matter. Nobody's expecting him to win this fight. He's coming in a huge underdog. So, for boxing, it's not going to hurt boxing if he loses. Now finally we get to my prediction on this fight, and who do I think's going to win this fight. To be honest, guys, I saw most of the Kambosos versus Lee Selby fight. I thought Kambosos lost that fight. I thought Selby did more, outworked them, but Kambosos did land the harder shots. And with the knockdown included, that's probably what won him the fight. But I still feel like Kambosos is just completely out of his depth right here. Teofimo Lopez in back-to-back fights has proven that he is at least at the top of the division in terms of who he's, how good he really is. You know, overall talent. And Kambosos just, in my opinion, is just not on that level. Lee Selby was a good test for him to see how good he really was. If he would have dominated Lee Selby, then we'd have a little bit different mind frame going into this fight with Lopez. But he didn't. He barely won. I felt like he lost the fight, but it was close, so I don't have a problem with the winning. But Lee Selby was a soft punching fighter 2 weight classes lower at 126, where he was champion, and he wasn't even the best guy there. So for me, it was like, if you barely beat Selby to where people are arguing that you should have lost, or some people are, then going in against Lopez, I mean, I don't see him winning this fight. But you never know in boxing. Anything can happen, especially in this kind of scenario where Lopez is probably looking to the future and what bigger fights are on the horizon. Maybe he's overlooking him. That's a possibility. But Kambosos better hope for that, because he's in a big fight here, and it's for all the marbles, for the Undisputed Lightweight Championship of the World, which right now, the lightweight, that's my number 3 division in boxing right now, behind welterweight and heavyweight. So lightweight is very good, and Kambosos has his opportunity. His moment is right here. But I believe Teofimo Lopez is going to win this fight by knockout. I think it's going to end before the 6th round. I think this fight ends. He's too good. I think he's going to come forward. I think he's going to box his way in and set it up. His hand speed and his power are going to spell the difference. I think he's going to lay out George Kambosos and retain his Undisputed Lightweight title. So that's the breakdown. Saturday, June 19th, Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr. for the Undisputed Lightweight Championship of the World. Make sure you check it out on Triller PPV. I hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.